Hey everyone, no response here. Hope you're having a grand week. So in this video, I'm going to be doing an updated building glitches summary. The reason being is it's been about 6 years since I made my main building glitches video and how they all work. There's been a lot of patches since then. Every single patch, people claim that it's been patched out. It has not. They all still work. Plus, with the new TV show and the second series, I think the first episode's actually in 4 or 5 hours from now, my time. As of me recording this, there's chance there'll be a lot of new people joining and wanting to play Fallout 4 again, and it's unlikely that you have watched my video from like 2019. So that's the point. I'm going to try and be fairly swift, because this is one of those things that I can waffle a bit more than I should. So I'm currently playing on PlayStation 5. I have updated to the latest patch as of today, so it's the 16th of December 2025. And I've got the latest update, so everything does in fact work. I'm also starting a new run, if you're curious, so if you want to see that during the stream on Sunday, I will obviously be posting videos and builds of this new run. It'll be fun. So there are a few glitches. The two main ones, I'll show you the two main ones, that I'll show you the kind of little extra ones if I have time. So basically the two main ones are the pillar glitch and the rug glitch. Now, I'm using a mod right now called, you can see, USO integrated. This is called Unlock Settlement Objects. It's a fantastic mod. I highly recommend you go download it. If you don't want to use creations mods or anything like that, you can do both these glitches with their vanilla counterparts. So basically, and just for the record as well, if you don't have any mods installed, your build menu will look a little bit different. Andrew CX, the creator of this mod, has redesigned their build menu with their mod in mind. So this is the vanilla version of the concrete pillar. This comes from the Unlock Settlement Objects mod. If you don't, not the Unlock Settlement, the Wasteland Workshop DLC rather. If you don't have that, you can get vanilla items and do the same thing. Basically, there it is. Any item or any structure that sinks into the ground can do the pillar glitch. See, any kind of foundation, anything like that. With the rug glitch here, it's basically, usually I just use a rug, but technically that can be done with any item that doesn't snap to anything. So usually we use rugs because they're quite small, they're quite low profile, and you can just hide them quite easily. But you could technically do this with a table or like a barrel. I can put something on it. See, actually I can't because it can't sit on there. A box, a great example. So I can do there, and I can do the glitch, which I'll explain what I'm doing right there in a sec. So let's just go through those. There's a couple of smaller glitches I might show you in a sec, but let's just summarize these so we don't need you anymore. So the pillar glitch uses a function called select all. So what I mean by select all, get my beautiful assistant, which is a wall. In this one here, use that. No, let's use one actually. Let's use a messier one. So as you can see, I'm just selecting the item. I press select once, it picks the item. Cool. If I move the item next to it, the pillar, move it back a bit further. And instead of just pressing select, I hold down the select button. It selects everything. Now this does a couple of things. First and foremost, I can obviously change the position of it a little bit more. It gives me a little bit more flexibility on like where I'm placing the piece of wood. But also it makes the collision slightly more generous. So I'm able to actually sink it into structures like this. My first use of this glitch was actually just patching up walls. It's usually what first thing I do when I start a new run. And it enables me to patch up these walls. Like in this run, I'm going to spend ages just covering every single window. I'm also going to put the ceilings in. And it just gives you a little bit more flexibility in terms of placing items, in terms of basically fine-tuning placement. To note, this can only be you can't do it on, and I actually tried, you can't do anything that's highlighted as just pure scrap. So for example, it won't work on those, just as an FYI. Also, and this is one of those glitches that people think has been patched or doesn't work properly. You see I've got all these leaves here. Normally I have a mod called Scrap That Settlement, or any version of it. There's various versions of mods that do this. They're fantastic mods, by the way. I highly recommend you get them. But you need to, I would recommend disabling them while you're doing lots of pillar glitching. The way these mods work is, what the developer will do, as I'm a lazy developer myself, an on-off developer of mods, is that they will select all aspects of, say, this certain type of leaves, or this piece of debris, and they will make those objects scrappable in the workshop menu. What that means is it this. See, that goes red. But that means that those leaves will go red. But it's not just those leaves, it will be things in the ground. So you'll be moving your pillar around like this, and it will just go red randomly. And it just makes it very difficult to build, because certain areas of the game will just have loads of objects that you can't see, which are interfering with your placement. So if you're having struggles with it, disable the mod. Just for the record, that won't break what you've already done. All that'll happen is you'll go to the mod menu, you'll go to your load order, you'll disable the scrapping mod, you'll save, you'll load back into your save. It will prompt you to, do you want to continue, because this mod isn't available. Perfectly fine, perfectly safe. And all of this stuff will come back that you've removed. Once you finish, you just go into the load order again, re-enable the mod, it'll all disappear again. No glitches, no issues, no fuss. They're fantastic mods, it's just by dint of the way they work, it means that it messes with that. So next is the much loved rug glitch. This is probably the one that people keep thinking is patched, and I keep getting messages about how it doesn't work anymore. It absolutely does. So what this does is it changes the collision point of the object you're placing. So I'm going to use the junk fences, because the junk fences were the main thing we always used to use this for. Now this will only work with an item that does not snap or have snapping points. What I mean by that is, if I go like, I don't know, picket fences, fantastic example. Picket fences, they snap, they snapping? Maybe these ones don't snap actually. Not that picket fence, they'll just go to the junk walls instead. One, I'll go to the wooden walls, this is a better example. So these walls, for example, snap to each other. So you can't do it with these. And I'll show you it working, and then I'll show you it not working. So I'm going to put the rug there, and I like to put it on a surface that's very flat and often with a lead, so it gives me a bit more of a visual aid so I can see it working. There we go. Should be there. Voila. Now what this does, as you can see, is that when I select this item, whereas before, if I did the select all thing, it looks like that, and it selects everything. This is only selecting the rug, and it's only using the collision of the rug. And that means I can do things like stick it into other walls and just basically... It enables me to basically plug gaps. So let's, I don't know, say I wanted to put this here, for whatever reason. Boom. I blocked that door with a rug. With just the rug, and with the thing you would like, say, I don't know, where I would probably use it is maybe like here. And I'd say... just be like, right, cool, that's now closed off, that kind of thing. And it basically enables you to use the collision of the first item in the chain. We use rugs out of convenience, but you can chain up items together. You can also use these together. And the way the select all glitch will work with this instance is it won't actually... So if I select that, right, and select all here, it's going to select everything. It's going to go crazy. But if I select the pillar, it's only going to select the first line of the chain. So now I can use the pillar and the rug to allow me to fine-tune placement of items. So for example, I'll quickly demonstrate with these. This was an absolute godsend when we learned we could do this, because originally these junk walls were not fun to place. So for example, we'll put this one because it's notoriously awkward. So I'm going to just normally pillar glitch this in. Get it nice and close. Cool. Don't mind me, Codsworth. You hang out. Come here. Get over here.
Right away, sir.
Oh, did I actually just ask you to do anything? No, you're fine. You stay there. You stay there, Chief. You stay right there. And then I can just sort of push these in. And suddenly it just gives me a little bit more flexibility. And I can place these walls much closer together and make something look quite cool. And eventually, it takes ages, but I can have this entire area walled off with junk fences that don't have irritating gaps in them, but also that aren't like floating, because another issue with some of these items is you can't really sink them in. So like, as you see there, there's like a massive gap underneath it, whereas using the pillar enables you to place them much further down, which is extremely handy. A couple of quality of life things. Let's me find a board. So the order you put the pillar down can cause a bit of an issue. So I put the pillar down there, and then I put an item next to it. Then I try and select all. Oh, I moved that again. close. So I put the biller down second, right? The item that I'm going to do it with. God damn it. Will you stop embarrassing me? Go right next to me. Rude. You are being a shithead. Is it just that wall's being a twat? Oh. There we go. That's what I was trying to make it do. The reason being is it just, for whatever reason, when you place an item down after you place the pillar, it causes a sort of it to freak out. So I just do this. Like that. I just select it and then say, if you ever watch me build, I do this all the time now. And it enables me to, it doesn't freak out. Also, sometimes it will just randomly not work, and usually the reason is, you notice I rotated this, it's because it just happens to be where that is one area that it doesn't work on that object. See, now it's working. It's just sometimes you need to basically kick the tires a little bit to make it work. Right, you can also chain this. So when for example, if I'm making, like, I can, you know, build like a particularly crappy house or something, so like that. Go a box house, say, with a masterful, my greatest piece of work, as you can see. Fantastic. I can select the whole thing and move it around. So let's say, I don't know, I wanted to put a house above the old garage area, well, kind of open-ended garage, the kind of garage here. I can just sink that in there. If I, for whatever bizarre reason, wanted to do that. But also it means you can start getting quite creative with thought of smushing items together. It's a really, really useful technique to do. It will pick up every single item connected on the chain that are close. So you are going to have instances where you do that too close to your base and you just pick up your entire base. Just cancel it. It's absolutely fine. Right, so those are the two main glitches. There's a couple more. Actually, can I quickly do this one now? Might not have, because I'm right at the start of the game. Can I? Do I have a turret I can place? Annoyingly, no, I don't. Unless it's, I've got one here, maybe. Ah, boo hiss. Okay, I can't show you, but I've done a video on it. You can actually use turrets to move people. I can't show you, so you'll have to just trust me. When you place a turret down, unless I can find some circuitry somewhere. Nah, don't worry. When you place a turret down, you can basically pick up the turret and use it to nudge people around, which is very handy if you've got Brahmin stuck in places or just someone just in the way and you want to give them a push. So just place a turret down or pick up one of your existing turrets and just basically you almost do this, except it won't work with this, it only works, and you just basically knock them with it and it will cause them to, but I don't actually have any circuitry. And another one, which I should have dropped my things down first, which is going to be very important, and people just, to be fair, just don't know about it, or a lot of people don't. See at the top corner there, it says size. That is your build budget, and that fills up depressingly fast. Drop a load of guns, or anything, but I usually use guns. You can use, apparently, like, shipments are really good. You just drop stuff on the floor. I just use my weapons I've got handy, and you store them. You don't, well, you can scrap them, but I'd recommend not, because then you can keep doing it again. And you just see it's marginally going down. If you have, like, an item with more attachments, like gamma guns are apparently really good, missile launchers, things like that, with lots of extra bit bells and whistles that you've modded onto them, those make it go down a lot further. So my, like, very vanilla pistols don't do very much, but I can basically just pick them up again from the wee workshop here. And I can do it again. Obviously, it'll probably take me a minute using all of these. But you can just see, it went down a bit further there. You can just see it going down. And that means you can build ostensibly forever. Obviously, just bear in mind that as you start getting incredibly packed settlements, depending on what platform you're playing on, it can get a little bit laggy. Those will remember when I played this on full PlayStation 4 and we had this entire area built up, it was an absolute nightmare. Anywho, so yeah, hope that helped you guys out. I think a lot of people seem to think that, like, it doesn't work for them and they think it's been patched when it absolutely hasn't been patched. It's never going to be patched. None of the building glitches are. They're really simple to do. Again, a big one, probably just make sure you've got scrap that settlement turned off. And again, if you don't want to use mods or creations, you can just use vanilla objects that do the same purpose. It's just more convenient with a mod like, for example, unlike settlement objects. Anywho, I'm going to be starting a new run on Fallout 4 soon. I'm going to be streaming it on Sunday. I won't stream literally everything I do, but I'm going to be streaming every Sunday. This is a new run just because I've wanted to start a new run for ages, and I got a PlayStation 5 a couple of months back, which means like everything looks a bit prettier compared to my Xbox. Plus, it's fun to restart, and with the new TV series season dropping, it's a good time. So that'll be cool. I'll be posting videos as well as streams. I'm going to have another little update video on Friday, which will actually be Thursday or Friday, which will actually just be a rundown of all the mods I'm currently using. Since doing my last mods video, I've discovered a lot more. Plus, I wanted to check which mods are working after all of the major updates that Bethesda have been doing. So I'm sort of going to be a bit of bug testing this week to make sure they're working so that way. And my mods, for the record, I'm very lore friendly, so there won't be anything that is, you know, particularly... I don't use custom assets, and that's deliberately why I'm doing this run on PlayStation anyway. But it'll be more things that just like add more building tools, make the game a little bit nicer in certain elements, and quality of life stuff. But anywho, I love you all. You enjoy the rest of your week. Enjoy the first episode I'll be watching in the morning, possibly during my lunch. And I'll speak to you absolutely lovely bunch of Riverbait soon. You take care.